In this video, we reveal untold truths about the life of Hedy Lamarr, while also showing you some of her rare photos. Why did Hedy's first husband turn her into a slave? Why did Hedy Lamarr regret her breakthrough role in the film Ecstasy? And what was so controversial about it? What groundbreaking invention did Hedy Lamarr come up with during World War II? And why wasn't it recognized until many years later? Stay tuned to find out the answers. Born Hedwig Eva Kiesler on the 9th of November 1949 in Vienna, Austria. The only child of her parents, Hedy Lamarr was welcomed to a world of luxury and influence. Her father was a bank director and her mother, a concert pianist. Hedy recounts taking long walks with her dad as he explains the inner workings of machines and cars. He surrounded her with so much information about them that she fell in love with inventions. By age 5, Hedy could disassemble and reassemble her music box. While her father was interested in a successor for the family business, Hedy's mom wanted her daughter to learn her own craft too. So she enrolled her in piano lessons and made sure she practiced ballet regularly. With training like this, it was no surprise that Hedy was already bagging beauty pageant awards at age 12. Although Hedy's mother desired that she be familiar with the entertainment industry, she never wanted to become an actress. But by then, Hedy was too far gone for goodbyes. All she wanted now was a life on the screens, so she forged a letter of permission from her mother, and with it, got employment as a script girl in Sasha Film. At Sasha Film, she made her film debut as an extra in the 1930 rom-com Money on the Street. The following year, she got a speaking part in Storm in a Water Glass. In 1933, the 18-year-old actress was cast in the drama film Ecstasy, and that would be her breakthrough to international stardom. The movie was a hit, but perhaps the most interesting fact about it would be that Hedy would regret being part of it. According to her, the director had duped her by publicizing close-up nude scenes of her, so the film was banned in America and Germany because it was considered over-sexual. Hedy's next big thing would be when she was cast in Sissy, a play about Empress Elizabeth of Austria. For her performance in the play, Hedy was praised by both critics and fans alike. Although this blessing turned out to be a curse in the long run, Hedy was still grateful that it happened. In 1937, Hedy got in touch with Louis B. Mayer, CEO of MGM. Luckily, that was around the time he was in the market for young talents. They agreed on a $500 per week contract, and he would be the one to change her name to Hedy Lamarr. The actress made her Hollywood debut in Algiers alongside French-American actor Charles Boyer. Over the next few years, Hedy was in a string of relatively successful movies, including I Take This Woman, Lady of the Tropics, Boomtown, Come Live With Me, among so many others. The peak of her career was when she was cast as Delilah in Cecil B. DeMille's Bible-inspired Samson and Delilah. Sure, Hedy did not have a very terrible career run, but she would have certainly had it much easier if she had just taken over the family business as her parents wanted her to. But her greatest regret is not joining the family business. In fact, Hedy's biggest regret might just be starring in the movie that announced her to the world. The tricky thing about fame is that while it brings you good fortune, it attracts a lot of enemies too. So many men were charmed with Hedy's performance in Sissy, but one man's admiration became a raging obsession. His name is Friedrich Mandel, an Austrian arms dealer. He was reportedly known as the richest man in Austria at that time. Like the rest of Hedy's fans, he fought for the actress's attention. Although she played hard to get for a while, it wouldn't be long now before Mandel would win her heart. A lot of people argue that the actress only said yes to him because of his wealth. Whatever the case, we just know that all Hedy wanted was marriage to Mandel. Her parents refused to give their blessings because of Mandel's religious background, but that wouldn't stop Hedy. They got married in August 1933, and the next thing we would hear about her was that Hedy Lamarr was on the run for her life. According to her autobiography, Mandel had her as a slave in his house, refusing that she continue with her acting career. He was the absolute monarch in their marriage. I was like a doll. I was like a thing, some object of art which had to be guarded and imprisoned, the actress shared. So without a proper divorce, Hedy disguised herself as a maid and made the run for her life. Did she have better luck with love after this? Well, after Mandel, Hedy was involved in 5 other failed marriages and multiple unhealthy romances. 2 years after she ended things with the French merchant, Hedy tied the knot with screenwriter and producer Gene Markey. This union lasted only 2 years, and by 1941, they were separated. Hedy adopted a son in this marriage. In 1943, Hedy got married to actor John Loder. The couple share a daughter, Denise, and a son, Anthony, who was featured in the 2004 documentary film Calling Hedy Lamarr. Her next marriage was with nightclub owner Ernest Stauffer. They got married in 1951, and by the following year, they went separate ways. She would try again for the 5th time with Texas oil man Howard Lee. This was her longest time in marriage. Unfortunately, it was still not her happily ever after either. The couple separated after 7 years. Lamarr's final shot at love was with her divorce lawyer, but time will reveal that he wasn't any different either. They managed to keep it together for 2 years before they split, and so Lamarr would remain unmarried for the last 35 years of her life. But the most scintillating of all is the affair she had with Howard Hughes. Not many people know this, but back in their heyday, Hedy Lamarr and Howard Hughes used to be an item. But this secret romance would turn out most terrible, with Hedy describing it as the worst relationship she has ever been in. They were brought together by their passion for invention, and according to Hedy, she wanted to help him build the fastest plane for the Air Force. Inspired by the shape of birds and the fins of fishes, Hedy would redesign the wings of his planes and make them more aerodynamic. Their relationship might have been a mess because of Howard's multiple affairs, but still, it inspired the actress for a groundbreaking innovation. Howard might have left Hedy with a big hole in her heart, but he also renewed her passion for invention. The actress has always been an inventor all her life, but her ex-inventor lover gifting her an inventing table and a small set of equipment was the right motivation to keep the fire burning. After they separated, Hedy went on to invent an upgraded stopwatch, an improved traffic spotlight, and a tablet that dissolved in water to make a soda like Coca-Cola. And these were not even the best part. In 1940, Hedy teamed up with author and music composer George Antheil to build what would form the scientific basis of all wireless connections like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. During the Second World War, Hedy learned that the Army was adopting radio-controlled torpedoes. This was a great idea, except for the fact that the torpedo's control systems could be manipulated by an enemy and rerouted to a different destination. This gave Lamarr great concerns, and with the help of George, they developed a frequency-hopping signal that would prevent the torpedo's radio guidance system from being compromised. Unfortunately, Hedy's ingenuity won't be recognized until many years after the war. She would become the first woman to receive the Invention Convention's Bulby Nass Spirit of Achievement Award. She died in 2000, and in 2014, Hedy was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame for the development of her frequency-hopping technology. Inventing was her hobby, it was her reflex. It was how she dealt with the problems of the world, and she did it in such a quiet way that most people around her didn't know. Dean Alexandra tells Vanity Fair. Marketed as the most beautiful woman in the world by Louis Meyer, Hedy would become the inspiration behind some of the familiar faces we grew up seeing on the screen. She was introduced to Walt Disney, who, like most men, was astonished by her beauty and thought her to be the perfect model for his latest project, Snow White. She was also the inspiration for Catwoman in the original Batwoman comics. When her acting career started to decline, Hedy Lamarr decided to explore her talents in production. After her contract with MGM Studio ended, Hedy, together with Jack Chertok, formed her production company. They would release their first melodrama film, The Strange Woman, the following year. The movie performed way below par and lost them a lot of money. Still, they tried again with the 1947 Dishonored Lady, but this wasn't any different either. Hedy gave her last shot with the 1948 comedy Let's Live a Little. The film went over the budget and was received poorly, so the actress decided that it was time to leave the production business. January 19, 2000. Hedy threw in the white flag after a tough battle with heart disease and failure. She was 85 years old. As was reported, Hedy's dying wish was for her ashes to be spread in Austria's Vienna woods, and this would be done by her son, Anthony Loder. Hedy Lamarr might be dead, but the memory she created in us will live forever. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos of beautiful actresses from the yesteryears. As always, thanks for watching.